name's Nigel. I'm a CAD engineer and I work for PW Circuits. Today's video is going to be about submitting a quote, what files you can send us, what details you can let us know, extra bits and bobs that will enable us to speed up the quoting process and then get an accurate quote back to you. So what points do you need to consider when you're submitting files to us? Ideally, board name and issue. That'd always be a good idea. It's for traceability. You can refer to it as an actual name, so when you're talking to us, if you're sending us multiple files for multiple boards, then we know which one you're talking about. And then 6 months down the line, if you want to reorder it, you can come back to us and say the board name again. Also with the issue, if you decide that you spot some mistakes and then a few days later you send us new files, a new version, if you give it a new issue number, then we know what issue you want. And we'll put that in the quote, and then if you put that in your order, then you can guarantee that you should get the latest version of the files. Let us know the quantity, so how many do you want? You might want one, you might want hundreds. Let us know, and that was a good idea. If you're not quite sure of a quantity, then let us know, say a panel's worth or 2 panels worth, and we can step it up and let you know what the best yield would be for your money. Finish, what finish do you want? Do you want gold, silver, hassle, lots of different finishes? There's details of that on our website. If you have no preference, once again let us know that you don't have a preference, and then we can work out which is the best one for you price wise. Lead times, let us know how long you want the board if you're not in the rush. If you say standard lead times, then obviously it's going to be cheaper than if you say you want it in 5 days. Say you've got a particular deadline that you want to reach, let us know that as well. And by the end of the month, I want it in 2 weeks' time, this particular date, then we can see what we can do for you. And then the data files and drawings, what you're going to submit. So if you don't have any data, if you've got a drawing, send us a PDF of the information. Bare minimum is let us know the size of the board. If we know the size of the board, then we can work out how to panelise it up, and we can work out the costs for you. If you do have Gerber files, that's the best one for us. They will come in multiple files, one for each layer. So you've got copper layers and your solder resist layers, legend layers. So they will come in individual files, so you need to make sure that you've got a file for each of the layers that you're after. If it's a DXF, you can send us those as well. And that's just one file, and that should contain all the information. So that's fine as well. Don't forget drill files. They'll be separate usually. You can have a drill file as a Gerber file, or you can have it as a separate Exelon file. That's always nice to know to send us that information. And then there's other formats, like you've got Eagle, Design, Sparks, etc., etc. With those sort of files or those sort of programs, make sure that you can probably export the files as Gerbers, because you don't want to design it all and then realise that you can't export the file, and then your chosen manufacturer can't use those files to actually work with. So it's always worth checking those at the start just to make sure you can get it out in a format that your manufacturer can use. Let us know what substrate you want, what material. Is it standard FR4, or is it something special like a Rogers or a Taconic? If you don't really mind, just put down standard, and then we can work out for you what you want. Same with thicknesses. So what's the thickness of the board? 1.6 mil, 1.5 mil is your standard nowadays, but 0.8, 3.2, there's all sorts of thicknesses. So if you've got a specific requirement, let us know that as well, and then we can work that for you. Let us know the copper weight, ½ ounce, 1 ounce, etc. We can do all the way up to 32 ounce if you want. There's plating on particular jobs, so it's always worth letting us know if you've got like a high power board and you need that extra copper weight. If you've got specific requirements about plating down holes as well, let us know that, and then we can see what we can do for you and work out what the best way to plate up for you is. And the PCB type, it might be obvious, but is it single, is it double-sided board? Sometimes we get customers that will only send us the top copper layer, and then they'll declare that the bottom copper is solid copper, but they don't actually create that as a file. So if that's the case, let us know, and then we will know that it's a double-sided PTH board. If it's a multi-layer board, how many layers is there? The layer order, if you've got a specific order that you want the tracks stacking up in, that's always nice to know. That's part of the build information. If it's, like I say, specific build, specific thicknesses of substrates, pre-pregs, obviously you need to let us know that as well. And then finally, if it's a flexi, whether it's a double-sided flexi whether it's a flexi rigid, which areas of that flexi rigid are flexi. It could be a double-sided without PTH holes. There's lots of combinations, so if you can tell us what it is, then we'll be able to get the best price and the best quote for you. So that's a simple run-up of how to submit some files for us. I have created a download for you, which I should put in the link below, enabling you to download a blank default submission form that you can fill the information in. That's available on our website as well. If you've got any questions, you can always contact us. We've got the website, we've got the phone number there, there's sales, PW Circuits email address, and my email address, nigel.guy@pwcircuits.co.uk as well. Or if you want to ask questions in the comments below, that's fine as well. We can see what we can do for you. Thanks very much for listening.